Hey there everyone, it's Brave here again. Welcome to my channel. I've just got a few things that I want to just get off my chest and talk about. So I hope everyone is having a great day or night wherever you are, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Hopefully we can move forward and put the past behind us and wipe the slate clean. So yeah, but in my opinion, I'm not even someone who's worried about a bit of paper as in a marriage certificate. To me, being a partnership is more important than having a bit of paper. To me, it's not a big deal if I get married or not, if I'm engaged or not. The engagement thing to me is more of a way to, I guess it's more of a signal to others that you're trying to create a partnership that's a protected partnership. You're not just dating which has weak boundaries, and people use those loose boundaries to say, oh, well, we're not married, so I thought you were dating other people while I was dating you, so I just dated other people too. I didn't know we were together officially or exclusively, just the two of us. So people will use those loose boundaries to not be serious or committed. But at the same time, someone who's married, that doesn't mean they're not going to be able to break the commitment or the loyalty. That can happen too. So, yeah, it's one of those weird things. So you can get re-engaged, say, even if you've been engaged in the past and then problems happened and then you took a break, but then you come back around when you've resolved the issues, then to me that is better than staying together miserable and never addressing the issues. You know what I mean? It's better to have a break, and then that shows if the absence makes your heart grow fonder or it makes you realize your mistakes, because sometimes people could make a mistake when they're drunk or when they feel rejected or argue with their partner, and then they go and sleep with someone else out of anger or something, but then being with a stranger, or it actually turned them off. Like, they went through with it, but then they felt so disgusted with themselves after that it made them realize how much they love that person they were with, or how they don't want to lose them, but they've already cheated, they've already done this thing. And then if they do tell that person, the likelihood is they would reject them for cheating or whatever. But weirdly, it was the mistake that made them change for the better. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because when you care about someone, it just the thought of them with another person sickens you. But then it also makes you want to reject them. So even if you care about them, like I remember one of my exes, I cared about him so much that it felt like such a punch in the face if he even spoke about liking other women, the way they looked or something like that. It felt like, but he was doing it on purpose. He was trying to triangulate and make me jealous on purpose because he was a sadistic narcissist. So that was his tactic, to say stupid comments, inappropriate comments about other women, to try and invoke your jealousy. So it's different if a guy's just, I don't know, accidentally complimenting other people, not deliberately, but and then you just happen to feel overly protective or jealous or territorial. That's different. If he was just telling everyone at a wedding, oh, you guys all look beautiful, and then you take it personal because you're like, well, I don't want you to think they're beautiful, even if they do look beautiful. Like, keep that shit to yourself. I don't want to hear it. So it's a bit like, there's certain things that trigger you, to at the same time you want to keep the person close to you that you love, but then you feel like you want to reject them for liking for even complimenting other people, I guess. And that can happen sometimes, where it's like you love and hate them at the same time. And yeah, that particular ex, it was a weird feeling of, I love you but I hate you, or I love you but I don't like you. Your behavior is intolerable, but for some weird reason my brain is telling me I love you, but actually it's not him I loved. It was probably more the what do you call it, the idea of him, or the potential of what we could have had. So you put all your dreams on this person. I think that's one thing Iyanla Van Zandt said, that life coach lady, Black American lady. She's really good. I love her. Fix My Life by Iyanla Van Zandt. If you look those up on YouTube, very powerful, and she helps everyone, black, white, Chinese, everyone. Like, she's so good. And it's weird because one thing I remember she said on one of her shows is she was talking about a man who had, was it like 28 kids with, like, I don't know, 16 women or something. And the kids were like disgusted in him, the older kids, like, why don't you get a vasectomy, or why don't you stop just having kids all over the place, because you can't spend time with all of them. We all feel neglected. We all feel weird knowing that our dad just keeps littering the world with kids he can't even look after. He can't even pay for their upkeep. You know, they're not getting any emotional connection to him. And it's like, he was like, well, doesn't the Bible say live long and prosper? And I thought, no, Star Trek said that, didn't it? I was like, dummy, isn't that from Star Trek? But I don't know. Or did he mean, like, go forth and multiply or something like that? But I thought, well, you're not acting like a godly person because you're not married to any of these women, and you're not even in a committed relationship with them. And he was telling them all the same lie, that they were his main woman, when they weren't. None of them were his main woman. They were all someone he could use. And that's what narcissists do. They keep multiple people on hooks, like they collect people like a weird collector, because they want to have a supply of people, so that if one doesn't give them attention, they can go to the next one, you know? And it's sad because so many people get pulled into a narcissist web and really do believe the love bombing, the fake love bombing, and the the promises of, the fake promises of, oh, I want what you want, I want kids, you want kids, I want a big house, you know, like, I can get that for you, just give me some time and we'll have everything we want. And, you know, especially if you're a broken person, you want to believe those things when people say these things, you know. But, yeah, it's incredibly sad how, you know, people can go out of their way to trick others. You know, if people were honest, excuse me, if people were honest, it would be so much easier. You know, you could avoid the crap people, you know. I mean, it's funny how people don't have the guts to show who they are, and also they know that if they showed their true self, you wouldn't want it. If a narc came up to you and said, hey, I'm going to use you, and you are not allowed to feel any emotions, any negative emotions towards me for using you, belittling you, insulting you, tearing down your self-esteem, making you feel insecure, you know, taking away anything that's good about you, you're not allowed to say one word about it. You just have to sit there like a mannequin, let me, you know, F on you and do whatever I want to you like you're a sex doll. And even if you don't like it, it doesn't matter because I like it. You know, because that's what that narc ex used to say to me when I would be with him intimately. Like, he might pinch you and I go, ow. And then I slap his leg really hard and go, don't do that again. Because it felt like he did it on purpose to hurt me. And then I say, hey, don't do that again. And he'd go, but I like it. And I said, I don't care. I don't like it. I don't want bruises on my skin. And then he would bite your neck really hard, but not in a sexy way. Bite it like a lunatic trying to rip your neck. And because he's trying to do a love bite, that stupid love bite thing, I hate those. And it would be so aggravating because then I'm quite beige skinned, light skinned, so bruises look dark and purple and horrible on me, and my skin shows the bruises really clearly. And even when I get like an injection or a vaccination or a blood test taken at the doctor, the stupid needle always causes a big black purpley bruise on my arm, and people think I've been beaten up, and I'm like, no, it's just a stupid doctor or the nurse didn't gently do the needle. They just took you really hard with the needle and not care if they leave a bruise, you know. And yeah, it was just really weird how he just didn't care. Like, he would bite you way too hard and not in a way that you liked, and you tell him, hey, don't do that. And then you say, but I want to do it. Everything was about him. And it was just like, why is nothing, you know, why does my feelings not matter? That didn't make sense to me at all, you know, like, it just felt weird that they didn't care. Yeah, they didn't care about your feelings at all. It was as if you were not a person. It was like you're meant to be some mannequin who has no feelings, you know? And if you try to show autonomy or, you know, sorry, I was reaching for something, overreaching. Yeah, like if you try to show any, what do you call it? Like, yeah, self-autonomy, you know, ideas about what you wanted, any preference, anything, you try and show it. And these narcs go ballistic. That how dare you try and be a normal person? How dare you try and, you know, be, I don't know, like they're just so messed up. It's really so sad that, you know, and then by the time you realise they're crazy, you're already so invested in them. Like this ex, I was so, you know, wanting a future with him that it was painful, the thought of not being able to have that. And so you tolerated stuff you would never tolerate. This was years ago though, but it was just, it still bothers me. Like, you know, even though I got revenge on him and everything, but it's just weird how it didn't, yeah, it's just weird how it's like, to me, it didn't have to be that way. Why did it have to happen that way? But it's because these people are sick. They're not well. Narcs are not well. And they will never be well. And it doesn't matter how much you try. And, you know, it doesn't matter how much you try and, you know, give them, like, love, support. It seems like the more you help them and give them support is the worse they treat you. Like, yeah, the closest you get to them is the worse they treat you. And that's the most painful thing in the world. Like, especially if the narc in your life is a parent. Like, because my mum and dad were both sick, sadistic, malignant narcs. But my dad abandoned us, so he wasn't around enough. But obviously his absence was painful. And when he would come around, he'd be violent and make sure you knew you meant nothing to him. And his family, his mum was a narc too, and his stepdad wasn't any better. If he was a narc, he was more quiet, but he was very dismissive and made you feel like you didn't exist, which is very much like what a narc does. So he just wasn't a violent one, but the grandma was violent. Like, she would choke the grandkids to get them to behave. Like, what a psychopath. And yeah, it's just really creepy that yeah, it was just really creepy to see how easy it is for a narc to, and when I say narc, I mean people with narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not just talking about someone who's a little bit up their own butt and big-headed and thinking they're great. No, there is a severe mental condition called narcissistic personality disorder, and there's multiple different versions of it. You could have the malignant sadistic narc or the covert sadistic narc or the communal narc. You know, they all vary depending on what trauma they were exposed to as a young person. And I don't know, it's just so weird how how they can effortlessly treat people like they just are less than nothing. It's creepy because you're normal, right? And even if you're broken from pain and difficulties, if you're not having this personality disorder, it's you're going to feel empathy at some point, no matter how many walls you put up or how much armor you put on to protect yourself. But metaphorical armor, as in having your guard up all the time and not trusting people or whatever, or defense mechanisms to try and prevent you getting hurt again. But even when you come across people, there's going to be a soft side of you when you know people need that from you. So even though I'm incredibly tough and I always keep my sword out and armor on, as as it were, because I'm not letting anyone get so close to me that they can hurt me like the last one did, and backstab me. If you're going to stab me, you better look right in my eye, and I want to see you coming. I don't want any more of this bull crap where you just totally trusting people and they take that trust as an opportunity to stab you in the back 100 times,